Hey, my fellow floaters. Welcome back to the AfterWords, the podcast where we talk about life, loss, and all of the messy stuff in between. I'm your host, Maile Navarro, here to remind you that personal growth isn't always graceful or easy. It's just about finding your flow while we trip through the cosmos. Because nothing really says growth like stumbling face first into enlightenment. Either way, I am glad you're here.
I love eating cookies and worms.
Today, though, I'm not alone. I've got my 9-year-old daughter, Zuma, here to keep me grounded. Say hi, Zuma.
Hi, everyone. I don't know what the cosmos are, but it's pretty simple. People say weird stuff, and I just tell them about wombat poop.
Zuma is making her podcast debut today because we are tackling a topic that we both know a little too well. We're talking about grief,
Chaos,
and all of the weird,
wild,
and out-of-pocket things that people say when they are trying to comfort you.
and yes, failing you miserably.
Yeah, totally.
Get ready for some major cringe.
But before we go any further, can we take a moment and celebrate the fact that this episode is in fact out on schedule? Grief brain and deadlines, they do not mix.
Seriously, it's a miracle.
Oh yes, because in my book, that's a major win.
Ooh, gold star for mommy.
A very funny, smart guy. In this episode, we're diving into the intersection of grief and chaos, where I'm sorry goes to die and everything happens for a reason. It's basically the new version of bless your heart.
Totally. I mean, people are just awkward. But they do make us laugh. So there's that.
She's got a way of cutting through the nonsense.
So buckle up.
No, I hate that phrase. We do not say buckle up on this show.
Get in, flub around, try not to hit your head.
Point taken, but whatever. Just, you guys do whatever you gotta do to get ready and settle in as we dive headfirst into the dumpster fire. And we're gonna talk about how people bumble empathy and supporting roles like a ballerina who's had one too many margaritas. Are you ready, Zuma?
Yeah.
Buckled up. What? At least you're safe. All right, settle in. Here we go. So here's the thing. Humans are not good at grief. We don't like pain. We don't like to talk about it. And we sure as hell don't know how to act normal about it.
True. It's like everyone suddenly forgets how to use their words.
I'll be real with you. I am no better. I am the number one person guilty of saying some of the weirdest stuff you've ever heard just to fill an awkward silence. My brain goes, oh my God, it's quiet. Say anything, Miley, anything at all. And I do. And what comes out? Absolute trash.
Mom, remember that time at Great-Grandma's funeral when you started talking about wombat poop?
Oh God, Zuma, did you have to bring that up? That's a real fact, you know. No joke. I actually said it at a funeral. Not at Kingston's funeral, thank God, but at a funeral nonetheless.
You're a disaster, but it's okay. That's why we love you.
Let's get into today's topic, shall we? Grief doesn't just break your heart. It also breaks your brain. Honestly, it's kind of fascinating why we do this. Why we panic in the face of someone else's pain. Why the words, I'm so sorry, somehow turn into something as dumb as, at least he's in a better place. As if that's really going to help.
What's so good about that place that he needed to leave this place?
You know, I get it, because when somebody says everything happens for a reason, it feels like they've literally handed me a live grenade and that they are trying to purposely kill me with their words. It's not comforting. It hurts worse. What reason could possibly make sense to a mother whose child has fought every day of his short little life only to lose a brutal battle with brain cancer? Go ahead. I'll wait. It's about as smart as Lloyd Christmas licking a frozen pole and shouting, I've got a brilliant idea. Spoiler alert, it's not, and neither is this reasoning. I vote to retire this one, can we? So why do people say the dumbest shit after somebody dies? Why do people say the dumbest shit when someone dies? And is there any hope for us?
I hope so, because some of the things people have said to me, oof.
Let's dig in.
The answer lies in the brain, specifically 2 parts. Mirror neurons and something called, the amygdala? Amygdala?
The amygdala. There, nailed it. It's hard to pronounce without sounding like I'm personally malfunctioning, but first, stick with me. It's an important piece. Mirror neurons are your brain's empathy engines. They're why you physically cringe when somebody else stubs their toe or you feel like you're about to cry during a sad movie, even if you're a soulless monster most of the time. Those little neurons are like emotional Wi-Fi. They connect us to each other's feelings whether you like it or not.
Okay, so we're all just walking around with emotional Wi-Fi?
There's a catch.
That explains a lot.
When grief enters the chat, those neurons can go rogue. Instead of helping us show compassion, they actually make us hyper aware of our own discomfort, turning us into bumbling, awkward shit shows.
Bumbling awkward. That's perfect.
Enter the amygdala, the brain's almond-shaped emotional security guard. Now, this little guy does not discriminate. It doesn't care if the threat is a grizzly bear charging at you or just me ugly crying on the couch. To your brain, both are equally bad. Your alarm system just starts screaming, alert, uncomfortable, fix it, send for help.
So basically, people are saying dumb stuff because they're panicking.
It's kind of like that scene from Inside Out, right? If you remember when the emotions are all panicking because Riley's sadness was just too much, the brain's like, we've got to do something, stat. And suddenly all of the emotions are freaking out all at once. Except it's just your feelings. It's not a runaway bus. That's your amygdala at work. And that's how we get classics like, at least you still have Zuma and Jaden. You've got to be strong for them.
I can't stand that one.
Or my personal favorite, I totally feel your pain. My guinea pig died from cancer last year.
Ew, that's rough. I'm sure that's exactly the same. Well, first of all, I don't like when people say, oh, you're doing so well, you're okay. Like, no, I'm not okay. I'm really not. I'm just trying to get through the day. I'm really not okay.
She's got a way of cutting through the nonsense. It's like your amygdala throws a dart at the wall of bad ideas and it lands on, say something stupid that makes everything so much worse. And off it goes. Doodly-doodly-dee. Suddenly, they're comparing your child's death to that of their guinea pigs. It's the emotional equivalent of handing you a tissue soaked in orange juice. Well-intentioned, maybe. Useful? Hell no. Your brain hates discomfort. Seeing someone else's grief, that deep, unfixable grief, it triggers your instincts to make it stop, to fix it, to say something comforting. But only garbage comes out.
First of all, I don't like when people say, oh, you're doing so well, you're okay. Like, no, I'm not okay. I'm really not. I'm just trying to get through the day. I'm really not okay.
She's got a way of cutting through the nonsense. Let me tell you a story about a time where this played out in real life. Picture this. I'm at Zuma's school and I'm trying to explain to them why 5 months later, why it is that a 9-year-old little girl is still not able to get to school on time after the death of her brother. They're not understanding.
And it's like everyone has forgotten that I lost my best friend. All of Kingston's friends don't play with me anymore. And it's like all of them forgot I'm still here. It's not just the kids at school who don't get it. After Kingston died, grown-ups kept telling us stuff that sounded good but didn't really help. They said go to grief group or talk to the counselor or take some time to feel better. But what they don't get is that those groups aren't always good. It's like they think there's a support box with a sparkly bell, but it's empty when you open it. The schools don't know how to help kids who miss their brothers.
What they don't understand is that some mornings Zuma wakes up and she has forgotten that he's not with us. That little girl will walk across the hallway from her bedroom to his to say good morning, to wake him up, to get him ready to go to school with her. And then it hits her that he's not here anymore. He's not coming back. He's gone. And on those mornings, for Zuma, it's like his death is happening for the first time all over again. As I'm explaining this, I can see it all over this woman's face. Her amygdala is firing off. You know the part of the brain that I just taught you about? The part that makes people panic when they're uncomfortable? Yeah, that part. And now she's scrambling for something, anything to say, because for sure, my grief, Zuma's grief, has definitely made her uncomfortable. And so she says to me, Zuma is just going to need to get some real professional help to really dive into the root of the issues that are making her late for school. No amount of support from the school is going to solve the root issue. Let that land. Are you kidding me? I could have kicked her in the shins. The root of the issue. What root exactly? I'm thinking, oh, the root. You mean the fact that my daughter watched her brother, her best friend, who was just a little bit more than a year older than her, die a slow death from cancer right before her eyes? Yeah, that root. That's the one we need to fix. Seriously? Scientifically speaking, I get it. I really do. Her brain was full on freaking out. Her amygdala was doing exactly what it was supposed to do: avoid discomfort. She wanted to fix it. She wanted to offer advice. But that's not always what grief needs. Grief doesn't have a root, it doesn't need to be fixed. It just needs space to be. When you're grieving, it's not just the people around you who are struggling with discomfort. My brain is too. Grief isn't just a feeling, it's a full-on neurological event. Meanwhile, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that's supposed to help you make logical decisions, that part, it's completely offline. It's gone, out of office, on sabbatical. Meanwhile, the emotional centers of your brain, the amygdala and the hippocampus, they are working overtime. If you're as old as I am, it reminds me of Clippy. You remember Clippy, right? That little paperclip from Microsoft Office that pops up? Super uninvited, and it's like, look, I see that you're trying to write a letter. Do you need some help? Except Grief Brain Clippy doesn't offer help. It just waves smugly and says, it looks like you're trying to survive. Too bad I can't fix this for you. Good luck. Thanks, Clippy. Super helpful. Let me give you a real life example, because this isn't just a science, it's my life. Right after we lost Kingston, I came down with pneumonia. Because, of course, grief on its own wasn't enough. I had to get sick too. So I had meds I was supposed to take, nothing complicated, just swallow the pills, and it feels like less death. Easy, right? No. So one morning, I get up, I go to drop off Zuma at school, and I remember I'm supposed to volunteer. But of course, I left my meds at home and I was dying, figuratively, but it felt real. So I drove all the way home to grab them. I get inside, and instead of heading straight to the meds, I start doing 100 other things. I cleaned something random, probably stared at the walls for a good minute or two, and then I remembered I'm supposed to be at the school. So I grab my keys and I leave, without the meds. I pull up to the school and I immediately realize that I have not taken my med. Awesome. I head home again. This time I'm on the phone, multitasking like a grief superhero, right? I kid you not, I did it 2 more times. At that point, I had to call in for backup. My friend answers the phone. I say, listen, I need you to babysit my brain because clearly I cannot manage it by myself. Grief Brain is about as helpful as my ex-husband was when I'd ask him to watch the kids so I could take a quick shower. You know, that kind of help where I'd come out of the shower to find the baby eating marshmallows straight from the bag, Alexa's confirming my next day delivery of a brand new PS5 and a 65-inch TV, and my 6-year-old daughter is somehow now trending on TikTok. All the while, he's passed out on the couch, napping like he just finished his 3rd tour overseas. Thanks for nothing, champ. And now I can neither confirm nor deny whether or not that part actually happened, but you get my point. You're trying to go through and process something that cannot actually be processed. It's like your brain is stuck in this endless loop, refreshing a page that refuses to load. So then what happens? Your brain locks up. It short circuits. It cannot think straight. And out of nowhere, you're suddenly drowning in emotion.
The emotional overload isn't just in your head. It affects everything from the ability to think clearly, to make decisions, to remember things, the ability to physically get out of bed in the morning. You are constantly in a state of a mental fog, trying to hold it all together while your brain is still trying to process the rawest, most intense kind of pain.
Imagine you're in the middle of a quiet moment. You're folding the laundry, scrolling through your phone. Maybe you're even just trying to distract yourself with something mindless, like binging an old sitcom. But then suddenly, bam, that weight of that loss hit you. And it's not polite about it either. It's not a soft knock on the door. It is a full-blown freight train barreling through your chest. It's that sharp, unexpected sting that makes you stop to catch your breath. It's that kind of realization that literally knocks the wind out of you, the punch you never saw coming. You feel it in your chest, like your heart forgot how to beat for a second, or in your throat where all of the words you want to say are stuck. And it doesn't stop there. It's not just a 1-2 punch. It's a whole motherfucking boxing match. Maybe it's triggered by a song that shuffles onto your playlist, or the smell of their favorite food. Maybe it's a random Tuesday when you used to reach for your phone to text them before you remember there's no one to text anymore. That wave of realization does not ask for permission, it just takes over. It's not always the big moments that set it off. Sometimes it's the smallest, teensiest things. It's running into a cup that they used to drink from, a stray sock that you found under the couch, the sound of a laugh that's almost, but not quite, just like theirs. Your brain bless its little overworked circuits. It's just trying to make sense of the senseless. It replays memories. It searches for meaning in their death. It inevitably reminds you over and over again, this is something you cannot fix. It's like trying to cook a Thanksgiving dinner with all 4 burners on high while you're holding your phone in one hand, trying to remember if you turned on the oven and your potty training toddler is running around the house naked without a diaper. Things can get really messy really fast, pun intended. There's no easy fix for this. There is no magic wand that you can wave to make the pain go away. What your brain needs is time. It needs space to process and to slowly heal. And that doesn't happen overnight. Some days it feels like my brain is finally starting to sort through some of the chaos. And other days, it's like my brain is dial-up internet or a fax machine and you just hear it screeching in the background. And I just can't seem to get anything done. And that's when I turn to distractions, like the weird things I say or weird trivia fact, like how wombat poop is cube-shaped. Yep, it's still true. It's survival. It's the only way that I cannot spiral into the overwhelming sadness. So when people around me say things like, you've got to be strong for Jaden and Zuma, trust me, I'm fully aware of Jaden and Zuma. What do you think I'm doing here? I'm juggling grief, trying to keep track of 17 different school projects, 30 volunteer things I committed to. I still don't know where my keys are. I haven't seen my phone in a week or my dignity. And let's not forget, my ADHD, it didn't just go away because Kingston did. The anxiety, still with me. All of those issues that I had pre-grief are still there, only magnified. I'm still the same messy person who starts a sentence, forgot the point of the story halfway through, and then wonders if she fed the dog today. Did I? Who knows? Maybe the dog's starving right now. Or maybe it's living its best life with the refrigerator door wide open because I forgot to close it this morning. I'm just pretending to know what's going on, and the rest of the time, I'll be standing in the bathroom with a spatula, wondering if I was supposed to be cooking, cleaning, or giving the dog a bath. I can hear my car running outside. I'm not even in the car. I'm still in the bathroom. Meanwhile, I left my best friend on speakerphone, and I don't remember calling her. She's been on hold for 14 minutes like an absolute saint, just waiting for me to finish one of the 10 million side quests that I've started since I put her on hold and jumped out of the car to go do God knows what with the spatula in the bathroom. Grief Brain is like playing a video game where all of the quests are random and you have no idea what level you're on. Am I supposed to be cooking dinner? Did I take the dog to the vet? Or did I just teleport to the bathroom holding a spatula for no reason at all? Who fucking knows? Shout out to the bestie for sticking it out on speakerphone like a patron saint of patience while I play my real life game of Where's Waldo, except Waldo is actually my dignity and it's long gone. Congratulations, you've made it to the part of the podcast where we dive into empathy. The good, the bad, and the truly cringe-worthy. What does empathy actually look like when someone's grieving? What does it not look like? And most importantly, how can we all get better at showing up for people in the middle of their worst moments? Before we dive in, let's all take a deep breath. I'll give you a moment to refill your wine or your water, whatever helps you survive my rants. Watching someone grieve can be deeply uncomfortable. Awkward, it's heartbreaking, and sometimes the best intentions will still miss the mark. That is where empathy comes in, or in some cases, where it completely falls apart. Let's clear up a few things about empathy. Empathy is not a magic trick. You can't just wave your hands, say the perfect thing, and magically make someone's grief and sadness disappear. Trust me, if that were possible, every grieving person on the planet would be lining up for the magic spell, and we'd be on our way to Disneyland. Empathy is not about fixing the pain. It's not about throwing out solutions, sharing your own stories, or trying to make the moment less awkward for you. Because, and this might just blow your mind, it's not about you. Grief is messy, painful, and pretending otherwise does not help anyone. So far, we've talked a lot about what empathy is not. I've got one more good story for you, and I promise we'll move on to the positives. I met a woman on Facebook Messenger. Big red flag. I know, I should have known better. But at the time she reached out, I was really desperate for human connection. I was minding my own business, scrolling through Facebook sometime between midnight and 5 in the morning. Because honestly, it's when I do my best grieving and my ugliest cry. I was just trying to survive one of the hardest times in my life. It was about a month after Kingston passed away, and this woman decides that the middle of the night on Facebook Messenger, she has found the perfect moment to start life coaching me. At first, honestly, she said all of the right things, kind words, thoughtful gestures, and just enough compassion to reel me in. She asked all the right questions, but she flipped the switch. Now that I'm thinking about it, does that mean I got catfished? We'll circle back to that. Suddenly, I was being diagnosed, like a full-blown analysis of my grief, my relationships, my parenting skills, even my Facebook posts. She was not there to listen. She was there to fix me, without an invitation, by the way. She didn't stop there. No, she started saying things like, I've changed countless lives. If you'd only listen to me, I could change yours too. I did not sign up for that TED Talk. She's not even a licensed professional. And last I checked, my grief wasn't a group project. After Kingston passed away, it really did feel like people were pulling away. And I'm sure they were processing a lot of their own stuff, but at the same time, it felt personal. This woman decided to tell me that it was my fault because I wasn't handling my grief appropriately. When I politely asked her, okay, semi-politely, I actually said hard pass to her unsolicited advice, she doubled down. Apparently, nobody had ever told her no, and she didn't know what no meant. She kept pushing, reframing her opinions as help and trying to convince me that I just didn't see how badly I needed her wisdom. Let me tell you, there is nothing more exhausting than having to defend your own pain against someone who insists that they know it better than you do. And then the real kicker, she suggested that I help myself by letting her interview me and take my son's story for her to start a podcast. Her reasoning, it was going to give me good exposure. My grief is not a marketing opportunity, well, for anyone else but me. I didn't lose my son for her to gain subscribers or to fill airtime with my pain. And that's the moment I knew that it wasn't about me at all. This was all about her trying to play the hero in my story. By the end of it all, I wasn't just grieving, I was drained. I felt picked on and beaten down. I was drained from having to constantly defend boundaries and to explain why I didn't need fixing. Drained from the relentless help that felt more like an audition for the best supporting role in my own tragedy. I wasn't a person to them, I was a business. Here's the thing, I don't need a life coach. I am a pretty self-aware person. I don't need a guru or anyone trying to map out the healing process for me. What I needed was simple, just a safe space, a kind word, and somebody who could just sit with me in the mess without trying to clean it up. And instead, I got a one-man intervention team who thought that they had all of the answers and just wouldn't take no for an answer. So for anyone out there thinking of inserting themselves into somebody else's grief, here's my advice. Please wait to be asked. And if you're not sure whether or not your help is wanted, it probably isn't. All right, my little mournicorns. Get it? I made that up right now. It's cute, unique, and funny and gives a whimsical touch to an otherwise heavy topic. Anyways, we've arrived at the part where I'm going to tell you what empathy is. It's one of those words that people throw around like glitter. It's super nice and sparkly and pretty. But do we really need to get it everywhere? It's the ability to understand and to share someone else's feelings. It's groundbreaking, right? Like you didn't pick up on that for the last 30 minutes? Basically, just being a decent human being and not making it about you. So yeah, empathy is super important, but you don't need to overcomplicate it. You don't got to go deep, don't have to channel your inner therapist to show empathy. You just listen, nod, and just don't say something stupid like, I know exactly how you feel, because you don't. Got it? Good. Now, for something completely unnecessary and wildly entertaining to me, I'm going to do a little lightning round, a little education session on the 5 stages of grief because who doesn't love a little existential chaos? All right, the infamous 5 stages of grief. Who's got time for this? Let's go over those infamous stages. Number 1, denial. 2, anger. 3, bargaining. 4, depression. And 5, acceptance. If I'm being completely honest, this is my first time going through the list because I refuse to read that damn book. When you say them all together, don't they kind of sound like a bad group project where nobody could agree on the rules? I'm pretty sure it was created by somebody who thought they needed to make grief sound productive because when you're in it, you actually get nothing done at all. Here's how they play out. Denial is supposed to be where you pretend things aren't happening. Let me tell you, there is no pretending when grief smacks you in the face. It's like a rogue shopping cart in the middle of a Target parking lot. Denial didn't visit me. Reality did. It walked in, took off its shoes, laid down on the couch and never left. Literally sounds exactly like my ex-husband. Honestly, denial would have been like a vacation. Anybody else? Nope. Okay. Oh, what's the next one? Anger. Yes, anger definitely showed up, but it didn't look like the righteous indignation. It looked more like me yelling at the fucking toaster in the middle of the night because it took too long. And I wanted to set my phone on fire because somebody suggested that everything happened for a reason. Anger's not a stage, it's a daily commute. What's number 3? Bargaining. See, okay, this is where the whole concept falls apart. Who am I bargaining with? God? The universe? My leftover Halloween candy? I don't recall ever sitting down for any negotiations. If bargaining was supposed to happen, I must have missed the memo for the meeting. This stage feels like it was written by somebody who watched too many soap operas. Depression. This is the part that makes sense to me. Finally, a stage that I can understand. Except it doesn't feel like a stage. It's more like this roommate you didn't invite. See, but then we're back to the ex-husband thing. Now you have to live with him indefinitely. It doesn't knock, it just moves in, raids the fridge, leaves a mess, and leaves you staring at the wall wondering if this is your new normal. Super fun time. It's almost as cool as that ceiling fan that was judging me in the last episode. Oh, and acceptance. Finally, we have acceptance. I think we were supposed to get there by Friday. Like, congratulations, you've arrived. You are officially okay. No. There's no finish line in grief, and acceptance is more like tolerating the loss because you don't have any other choice. It's not closure, it's survival. And it's definitely not tied up with any cute little bows, and there's not a hot delivery guy dropping it off on the door. So what's the deal here? Grief isn't a 5-step program, people. It's a mess. You're crying one minute, you're laughing at a dumb meme the next minute, and then you're irrationally angry when the grocery store is out of your favorite ice cream. The stages of grief might work in a textbook, but can somebody please tell me who's made them work in real life? To me, they're just labels for feelings that show up whenever they want, however they want, and sometimes forget to leave. So forget the stages, grieve how you grieve, cry, laugh, yell at the sky, punch the toaster. For me, it was a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. There's no right way to do this, and there's definitely no wrong way to grieve either. So don't let anyone tell you otherwise. All right, Mornicorns or fellow floaters, whichever one suits you better, let's bring this one in for a landing. If there's one thing I've learned through all of this, it's that I can describe grief as messy at least 1,000 times in less than 30 minutes. Grief is a shit show. Messy, unpredictable, and often shows up uninvited. The science might try to map it out, but the truth is, grief doesn't care about your timelines or your charts, and that's okay. Empathy? Now that one's easy. Just show up. You don't need a script. You don't need to fix anything. You definitely don't need to start a podcast about somebody else's pain. Sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is just sit with someone in the dark and remind them they're not alone. Thank you for being here with me, for listening to me, and for letting me share this chaotic, healing, and sometimes hilariously awkward journey with you. Until next time, stay weird, stay kind, and maybe don't try to reinvent grief. You are doing just fine.